Hey there! In this video, I'm gonna guide you through my process to post-produce image on Midjourney and removing all these annoying extra fingers, weird-shaped hands and faces, and help you to get a clean and good quality image to present to your customers. Does it happens to you that when you create an image on Midjourney, you have a lot of hands that have weird amount of fingers or weird shapes, faces that don't look too realistic, and maybe some parts that looks a bit deformed? Well, these are the most common problems with images generated with Midjourney. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you what can you do to improve an image generated in Midjourney using Midjourney itself and Photoshop. First of all, let's go through all the comments and see what is the main issues and what order are we going to fix this. My advice in the process that I use is to try to first change all the big parts, the big areas that need to be changed. It's better to make the modifications on Midjourney using the Vary region, because if you do them in Photoshop, the changes may not look exactly as the image that it was originally generated, and Midjourney will make a better job to create something new that is in the same style of the image. So for that, we see in this image that the first and the biggest area to modify according to the feedback is to clean up a bit the table and make it less busy. We're going to our upscale image and we're going to select Vary region. And once inside the interface, we're going to select a bigger portion of the area of the table. We're not going to select exactly what we want to change. We need to select a little bit more around the area of the table, because that way Midjourney will have a rank to create the changes that we need. Then in this case, let's ask that we want a clean table with a couple of papers, and this is what we're going to generate. Every time that we do this action, Midjourney would provide us 4 new options with only the modification that we ask, and you will see that in the prompt will be replaced by the new text that you put on the Vary region UI. After a couple iterations, I realized that Midjourney was not understanding really well that I wanted a clean table. It did some of the job, it cleaned some parts, but also it still is leaving a laptop on the table. That is not what I'm asking. So when these kind of things happen, you can either like select a bigger area, repeat the same prompt, or you can just try to do it in Photoshop. That in this case, since we have part of the table clean, we have some of the wooden area already visible, Photoshop would easily understand that we want to remove a laptop that just create an entire table surface out of nowhere as it was at the beginning. The next change that we want to make is that, as you can see in the woman's hairstyle, there are two bows that are in a weird position. So we want to make sure that she has a normal hairstyle. We're going to select the area around the hair of the woman, and we're going to apply the prompts with Vary region from these options that it provided us. This is the one that looks more like what we wanted to accomplish. So now let's focus on the face of the man, that in this case it has an expression that we would like it to be more cheerful and more like conversational. So we're going to select only the area of the face in this case, and we can either try different prompts like face, like happy face, like smiley face, or put the expression that we want. Once that we get the result that we want, we can now pass to the arm of the woman, because as you can see there is a weird things going on between the arms of both of them. These are probably the parts that the customer may have more things to say about. So face, arms, and hands should be the final thing that you modify on the image that you created on Midjourney. In this case, as you see, we're going to select the area of the arm and a bigger area around it also. So Midjourney can give us some options of the position of the arm, and we're just going to write arm. We don't need to overcomplicate it. Midjourney doesn't understand um, complex phrases like "oh, regenerate the arm" or "make um, mm, please make changes." Like, no, it just the simplest as you keep it, like arm or arm waving or arm doing specifically the action that you want, is going to be the best for your results. Now that we have the arm that we want on the women, let's make the arm on the men, and the area where they all combine in the center between them, and let's make something that is actually realistic on the position on the arms and the where they are placed. We got a result that the arm is have of the women have a better position, but still the forearm and the hand looks a bit weird. So now let's go and regenerate only the part of the forearm to make sure that we get a result that we want. Now that the bigger hallucinations have gone, we're going to Photoshop to make to take care of some small details that Midjourney is not really good at. Now that we are in Photoshop, we can easily select the areas that we want to remove or to change. Let's say, for example, this section of the fabric. Let's going to remove it. Just selecting the area and applying the parameter, applying the prompt remove. Let's do the same with the earring. Let's select the area around it, and it's important that the to select the smallest possible area, still leaving some area around the what we want to remove. That in this case, for example, is the earring ellipse, but we want to make sure that we don't make too big the area that we want to make changes, because the bigger the area that we select is, Photoshop will tend to add some things or make a difference in the noise of the image, that it can look a bit artificial on the final image. Let's take this for example, and this is something really common. Now that the earring was removed, you can see when you zoom in the image that the area that it was modified have a difference on the noise of the image, that it looks a bit weird, that it's really visible that a modification was made. A really good solution for that is to go to the new layer that Photoshop creates once you apply the generative fill, and control left click on it to select the area that it was modified, and then go to the filters and apply sharpen. This will make more equal the area that it was modified in relationship with the rest of the image, as you can see here. Now that we have that, we remove the earring of the woman, but we also want to add another earring, the something that is more small and discreet. And please take in account that we removed the earring because the ellipse was not that perfect, and this is something that we need to take care of in Midjourney, that the circles sometimes may not be perfect. So now let's add another earring. For that, we're going to select the area and just write earring, a small area in the ear. Now, as you can see, this new generation created a bit of weird elements like a black dot and a more bright dot. We're going to select those and remove them also with generative fill. And all these generations or these changes are better to do them on Photoshop because, as I said before, with With Midjourney, it would be really difficult to make changes in these really small areas. Now let's go to the laptop, and this is a hard part. Let's select all the area around the laptop and try to change it with the word remove in the generative field panel. Um, in this case, when I was trying to do it, it was not responding as I wanted. So when this kind of things happens, usually it's because the shadow of the element is present, and Photoshop will understand that if there is a shadow, there should be an object that is casting this shadow. So it is not enough with selecting only the laptop. You need to select also the shadow of the laptop. So what I did was to make a bigger area of selection that includes all the shadow that the laptop is casting on the table, and then write remove. And as you can see this time, the all the elements on that part, the laptop, the shadow, everything was removed, and the um, wooden table was regenerated effectively. Now let's keep working on our improvements. The keyboard of the laptop is not really well defined. It's have a weird shape. So let's select the area around it, and let's write laptop keyboard. So I realized that with that previous generation, I kind of modified the finger of the woman because my selection included the finger. So this time I'm going to make sure that take as little as possible in the area of the finger and regenerate the keyboard of the laptop. If you go really close, you may see that the letters are not that clear, or there is a bit of bump in the parallelism of the keys. But since this image is going to be used in a bigger format, and this is a really small things that are not going to be visible once you use it on an ad, it's not really necessary to keep spending time on it unless you're going to make a really big image for printing or something like that. So now let's keep going on our cleaning process, and let's remove this little USB drive from the table that is not important. Now let's also modify the fingers, and we can just select two of the fingers and add the word fingers on the UI of the generative field. Now let's remove these elements that are on the background that have no importance for the image and are just there like as noise. And I'm using Photoshop for this because in this image the background is a bit is not plain, so we have a lot of things going on, so it's not going to be that visible that we remove these elements. So let's remove this orange thing and the other one. Now let's go into the even smaller details. What I'm going to do is to regenerate that part of the face around the eye, but I'm going to copy the eye and paste it on the other side, and then integrate it with the rest of the face. And also I'm going to copy and paste the eyebrow to make it look like the other one. Now, if for some reason we are not convinced of one of the faces that we have or one other part, and we want to go back to Midjourney to regenerate these kind of things, We can just go and to vary region and apply the change to the face. Once you have the image as you want, you can just copy and paste the image over the past one, and since the only thing that would have changed probably is the area of the face, you can select this area and apply a mask to disappear everything around it, and with a soft brush you can integrate both areas until you have the face what you want from one image and the rest of the parts from the other image that you decided to use. The final touch that you can apply are to adjust the illumination, the saturation of the image so you get the image that you want. And that should be enough for you to have an image that is free of hallucination and other problems that could be generated in the Midjourney. And this is it. Hope that you have found it useful and see you in the next video.